Hello and welcome to the Jeff Ahern Show. As I slightly adjust my camera here a little bit. Good to be back. Good to be here every Friday at 10 o'clock Pacific time. And exciting news. I can't remember if I've said this before on the show last because it's lots of stuff has happened. I know I haven't done this. I have not done. I want to thank Jeannie for some of my fan art here. I got some fan art, which is kind of cool. I love this. This is awesome. So a fan drew this for me. And yeah, I like it. Pretty cool. So thank you. Thank you, Jeannie. As much.
Wait a minute. You have fans?
I have a fan. I have one fan.
You have one fan? Wait a minute. It's like
I know I have exactly one fan because I have exactly one piece of fan art.
You have exactly one piece of fan art, so you have exactly one fan. That's all you got is one fan. I thought you had hundreds of fans because when we hear about this thing called Rumble, and they're all like love you over there on Rumble because Rumble.
Well, in fairness, that's a Rumble fan, but it still counts. I think she's a fan here too. You know.
Okay. Well, we're glad. We got to have those fans. Fans are important.
I'm like, okay, all right, people are watching. I feel like
folks are watching. They're watching. Speaking of people watching, and I'm bringing up your sponsor because I know we're going to get to that as well and everything. So I'm trying to load that up so we can learn more about this wonderful sponsor. But speaking as I am waiting for this to come up, we've had a couple of conversations, including on our news, about the CNN town hall. So I was wondering, as a commentator, not necessarily one that is always the biggest Trump fan, but definitely not one that is always going to ride him hard either, what your thoughts were, because he and apparently this reporter went back and forth, and apparently people were just whooping it up and having a good old time.
Yeah.
They were having just their whole rivalry and, calling each other names and all kinds of stuff.
Mark, she's clearly a nasty woman.
Apparently that's what you
He loves it. That's his favorite. That's his favorite nasty woman. Everyone, I just Googled it, and there's like that if you're a woman and you do them wrong, you're a nasty woman.
You're just a nasty woman if you do him wrong, because apparently you're just as nasty as you can be if you do him wrong.
Yeah. But I think he did amazingly well. I know he did amazingly well because everybody's mad about it on the left. Like all the CNN staffers and Anderson Cooper, like, what happened? How come he was allowed to look good? So as far as Trump's concerned, it's a free hour of airtime. I mean, it feels like to me the left is doing everything in their power, whether they realize it or not, to get him elected. I mean, and it goes. He did his campaign launch. It wasn't that big a deal. He's pretty tight with DeSantis. You didn't know who's gonna get it. And there's a lot of time still, obviously. But then Alvin Bragg comes in and gives him this new platform to relaunch his campaign. Suddenly he surges in the polls. Suddenly he surges in all his donations from first timers as well as just regulars. And then here comes CNN again, throwing him like, "Hey, come on, have some more ad time and build your campaign up some more."
And they said, hey, and some people are wondering what CNN was thinking about, but they are in the business of making money as well. So why not bring one of the top eyes to your network, whether they agree with you or don't agree with you?
They for once they actually had viewers, but the problem is there's such an illegitimate news source in the eyes of most people that that's a one and done affair. And they're talking about cleaning it up and making it more even-handed, but then look at all the anger from the CNN staffers about Trump, coming off good. So clearly, the ship is still riddled with leftist holdovers.
About those leftist holdovers is one that has been in the left everything. But we're going to hear from your advertisement, and then I'm gonna bounce off. And who knows? I know you got tons of other issues, but you did mention Jeremy's Razors, and we've actually got the spot that you gave as well. So hey, let's check it out. The spot that you gave us to play, and we'll play that, and then I'll be off.
Hello and welcome to Newsday with Jeff Ahern. I'm your host, Jeff Ahern. Today's top story. Remember Harry's Razors, the company that stopped advertising with the Daily Wire after hearing something as innocuous as boys are boys and girls are girls? They called it inexcusable. Look, I know you're a grooming company, but you don't have to take the grooming part quite so literally. I'm surprised the razors don't come with a rainbow handle and a discount code for a sex change, especially after deciding to put their emphasis on pandering over product. But credit where credit is due. Their product is great at exfoliating. It exfoliated conservative customers right off of their balance sheet, taking a straight razor to profits and leaving a once loyal customer base with a really bad case of razor burn. And for what? Not being in lockstep with leftist wokeism? This has to be the greatest shaving blunder since someone gave Sweeney Todd a chair at the local barbershop. But who can blame Harry's Razors for buckling under the pressure of a Twitter user's complaints? I mean, this guy had 2 followers. Look out, Kim Kardashian. Here comes what's his face. And I bet one of his followers was probably trying to sell him crypto. Harry's claimed they were pulling their ads due to a values misalignment. What values? Woke grandstanding? Progressive preening? All you did with this woke publicity stunt was make your entire company as disposable as your razors. Because there's a new shave in town, Jeremy's Razors. Because I don't want another woke lecture. I want a tungsten handle, flip back trimmer, shave fit for a man. Blades sharp as truth that cut through bearded stubble like common sense cuts through liberalism. A razor for deep shaving deplorables, for flyovers with facial hair. A man's razor from a company still willing to admit there's such a thing as a man. Let Harry's go in on the trans market. I guess they figure those guys are going to shave more than most people anyways. Especially if they want to appear even remotely feminine. I mean, it's bad enough you're going to break every female sports record while sporting male genitalia. So why do you got to rub it in sporting a 5 o'clock shadow? It's time to take a stand against woke cancel culture with a great clean shave. And don't forget to lather up with Jeremy's shaving cream before you do. Made with green tea oil to calm irritation and reduce redness. Almond oil, which creates a cushion for your blade. And cocoa butter, which reduces bumps. All available at jeremy'srazors.com. Go there right now and use promo code Ahern15 to get 15% off your next purchase. Stick it to the man, or whatever Harry's identifies as. So head over to jeremy'srazors.com and tell them Jeff sent you.
All right, yeah, so that is my new sponsor, and I'm very excited about that. And yeah, you put in Ahern15, you get 15% off. And if let's say you got no problem with Harry's being really woke, Jeremy's is a better shave. So there you go. Either it's win-win. It's win-win.
It says win-win, but you say I haven't got a shave, but I am going to go see my barber. I was actually just saying that I got to go give a call to him because that is Mr. Boyd over there at Choice Cut. So I just gave a plug to him.
Yeah,
all in that space, but I got to go see him very shortly and all in that space. I'll probably see him in another few days because I try to see him every 2 or 3 weeks or something along those lines, or at least keep it trimmed, if nothing else. But one of the quick questions I have for you that I got to teach you about that I'm going to get off and let you have your conversation is everything is you went on this whole thing about the woke nature of Harry's with the Jerry's commercial, but then you ended it with something that I've got to teach you about because it seems to me that Jerry's, and that is your sponsor, is also very green because you just mentioned the green benefit, and that's a liberal cause. So I got to teach you because I'm going like, wait a minute, he's talking all this green stuff.
It can be green. You know, green's not a bad thing. It's extremist green. That's the bad thing. Yeah, no, green is good. I like nature. I want to be able to walk around and not be coughing.
That makes sense. We all want to walk around and see the squirrels, see the birds, and be able to not cough and all of that.
Squirrels. I don't want to see the squirrels, hurling or, it's just all sorts of nature amok. But hey, you lead into my into a good lead into the first story here, which is the electrical grid and Joe Biden. And also I'm excited to see your beard next week.
Okay, cool. We'll see it next week.
You're gonna be looking right and tight.
Right. Sounds like a plan.
One of those things.
One of those.
Yes. So, but thank you, Mark. Yeah. So, to Mark's point, about the, people get confused. I think they're like, Republicans hate the environment. That's not true. Nobody hates. I don't think there's really anyone who hates the environment. I mean, there's maybe one guy. Probably there's always one guy who hates everything. But it's just the extreme nature of the leftists, sacrificing humanity in a sense supposedly for humanity in a weird way. Because, if we can't drive our cars and we can't get from point A to point B and you make it cost prohibitive for us basically to even leave our homes, we're back at an agrarian society, which is probably what they want to begin with. But this story on Fox says experts warn Biden's latest climate action, which threatens already fragile United States power grid. So here's the thing, and I've said this about California, not in as much detail as this article goes into, but Newsom our illustrious governor here, who destroyed San Francisco and wanted to prove it wasn't a fluke. So he was trying to take out the whole state. But the Biden administration wants to make it incredibly cost prohibitive to produce electricity. Now, this is happening at the same time that they are wanting everyone to use electricity. You could see a problem there. And going back to California with Newsom, by 2034, 2035, he wants all vehicles sold here to be electrified, electric vehicles. Yet, the last summer in August, which is usually probably the hottest August, September timeframe, he was telling people not to charge their electric vehicles because it was going to crash the grid. And as many EV vehicles as you see on the roads in California, it's got to be the hottest EV market, in the union in the United States. It's still a very minuscule portion of all overall vehicles in the state, because they're incredibly expensive, and so now when you add more vehicles to this already burdened infrastructure, especially when it's being burdened, with people trying to use electricity for other things like staying cool and alive in some cases, depending on how hot it is, you're going to have the grid crashing all the time. You're not going to be able to charge your cars at all. They'll probably just turn off the spigot or the electrical spigot for your electric car charging. So you have $60,000, which is the average cost of electric paperweights, and you can't even drive them around. And that's basically what this story is saying here, too. The Biden administration has no comprehensive energy plan. They have no comprehensive anything plan. They have no comprehensive border plan. They have no comprehensive. They don't have any comprehensive plans. They just have whack job leftist ideology agendas that they're like, okay, we're going to do this. And there's no thought for the future ramifications of whatever the latest Looney Tune leftist demands are. And that Biden goes, okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Biden's not in charge. I don't know who is. It's not him. So here's what they're saying. They are basically saying, because I want to read this because it's interesting. The Biden administration released a sweeping plan to curb fossil fuel fired. That's a lot of F's. That's 3 F's in a row. Oh, wow. Fossil fuel fired power plant. 3 F's and 2 P's. Who's writing this, Fox News? Come on, you're killing me. Curb fossil fueled powered plants emissions. Dear God. Thursday, sparking concerns from experts about future U.S. Power grid reliability. Heck yeah. The EPA, which would curb a nationwide power sector emissions at whatever it is, will force power providers to slash production by about 90% over the next 2 decades to achieve such aggressive emissions reductions. So these plants now have to adopt carbon capture and nascent, early stage and costly technology, or shut down. And here's the thing. A lot of them are probably going to shut down if this is the demands put on them. Business, I know liberals, this is a complicated thing to you, but capitalism works by making a profit. I know in liberalism, in Fantasyland, socialist liberalism and communism, you can just give away money, print money, and everyone gets money, and it just comes from a magic fairy. Joe Biden in this case, I guess, right?
It worked. I told Fox to do a tongue twister for Jeff. I told him to give you a tongue twister. It worked.
That was a brutal one, man.
My plan worked. Like me, Pinky and the Brain. My plan worked. I called him and told him to give you a tongue twister.
Fossil fuel fired power plant. It's like a double.
A double tongue twister. My plan worked. Evil plan worked. I did the Pinky and the Brain.
That was good. Yeah, it worked. I love Pinky and the Brain. Now, that's some solid programming. And yeah, no one's, it's just entertaining. No one's got to come out as trans. No one's got to be this or that. It's just, let's just entertain.
But wait a minute. I thought we had Pinky and the Brain in the White House a couple of times because I thought both Trump and Biden, well, actually, I thought Putin was trying to be Pinky and the Brain because doesn't he want to take over the world? So I thought that Putin was trying to be.
Actually, Putin would be. That would be the perfect one. And his head's kind of getting that way. He's kind of got that kind of a big old, melon. So yeah, I think he'd be a good live action choice when he's done, brutalizing the people of Ukraine. Yep. He's got a second career coming in Hollywood where that won't be an issue. They're pretty accepting of people like that.
They're on a writer's strike. They need new talent. They're on a
you're right. It could be a reality TV show That would be that would be an amazing reality TV show. Just follow Putin around just in his day as he's ordering assassinations and just doing crazy stuff. But he's all casual, drinking tea or whatever after someone else taste tests it, so it doesn't kill him.
They don't have tea in Russia. It's all vodka. What are you talking about? Some tea?
Well, you put vodka infused tea or tea infused vodka. One of those things. It's all stolen. Vodka. Well, that's how they're always assassinating everybody. Like always pouring like some horrible nuclear contaminant into somebody's drink, and then they're like, ah.
That's what they're doing.
That's the Russian way.
It is totally the Russian way, and apparently they're doing that quite well. And all in that space. So I did see that was the Russian way. You mentioned the migrants. I had to teach you about that because I thought that I heard that Title 42 was ending and we were going back to some of the old policies that might have been in place when Trump was, because apparently Mexicans were only allowing Mexicans back. So there was a lot of people that were laying on the border. So there have been a lot of people that are now apparently as of midnight going to be going across the border. I'm very confused as to who's going where.
Well, the issue is you're not wrong. The Title 42 was a COVID thing where they're like, okay, because of COVID, we're kicking you right out. We don't want you coming in with COVID. But then Biden basically just started ignoring all border law, like just completely ignoring it. And everyone just come on down. So under Trump was like, no, we have border law. We enforce border law. Border agents enforce border law. You're not just going to cross over. Well, Biden said so long to all that. So now you had all these people just coming in, and now there's a steady stream. It's like you got like a, you're siphoning something. Once you get that steady flow going, it's all coming, and it's all coming. It's flowing. It's got it's a pipeline now. It's a full-on pipeline of immigrants, whereas before it was more scattered. And now you have no way. The last little like kind of piece of the wall that they had to step over is gone. So it's just like whatever. It's open seat. Just come on down. Biden's not going to do anything. He's not going to do. He's visited the border once. He made Kamala the border czar. There's 2,000 miles of border. And when Biden says he cares about it, that's probably about the length his nose grows. It's just he don't care. It's a voter drive for him.
So is she the border czar or is she the AI czar or is she the both czar?
She's when you're really don't do a job, you have plenty of time for another one, which you probably also won't do. So yeah, she our border czar has visited the border once. God, even when she talks, you can't understand what she's saying. She's just a salad shooter. Everything that comes out of her mouth, she makes fifth graders feel talked down to. Kindergartners feel talked down to this woman. And yeah, they're like, let's make her the AI, head of the AI. And even Elon Musk is like, come on. I think his line was like, we should at least have someone who could, restart their Wi-Fi router in that position.
Hey, we don't know whether she can restart it or if she's got other.
Maybe she can. Maybe she's like a savant. Like she can't speak. She can't articulate anything. But when it comes to Wi-Fi routers, she's just a dynamo. She
may be the AI in her house.
She's soldering as we speak, Mark. Soldering some computer chips.
Who knows what that woman is doing? She could be.
She's not doing anything with the border. She got a lot of free time. I don't think she's doing anything with AI.
We're going to have to find out what she's doing in that space. But I did hear that they are saying that apparently the Border Patrol is not making any comments because apparently the Border Patrol is trying to figure out which way to send the people and what they're going to do. So
they're like the South guys, the airplane guys, just with the little airplane sticks, the glow sticks. It's like, all right, come this way. Yep, they can't enforce any law. Biden even took away their horses. Some of these guys.
I don't have any horses. Speaking of horses, and I'm glad you brought up horses. Apparently, the horse races, and I was going to go to the Kentucky Derby, but apparently they don't know how to maintain health regulations in that whole industry because apparently the Kentucky Derby happened. We had a winner in the Kentucky Derby. It wasn't the one that I was thinking was going to win because I think I pulled the name out of the hat. I was going with the one called Rocket Canner, something like that, and it finished like in 7th or 8th. And something. It had a good name. That's what I thought. It was like a good name. It's a Rocket Camp. Should win. But it didn't win. But then apparently there was like, now the horse industry is in trouble. Some horse jockeys or trainers going to be tried or at least dealing with some crime issues because apparently there were like 7 horses that, mysteriously died. Whether it was the mafia, whether the horses were having a hit on each other or what was going on, I'm not quite sure.
It's a pretty corrupt industry. I mean, there's tons of drug abuse with these horses. There's, of course, the mafia stuff. I mean, it's a pretty corrupt industry. It's still entertaining to watch them, and but yeah, I'm never like surprised when I hear like whatever the winner was of the Preakness or this or that, was hopped up on goofballs or whatever. I don't know, whatever they put in.
Whatever they put in the horses and everything, and they're hoofed up and all of that and everything. But now I'm gonna bounce off again. But is the mafia running the horse races, or are the horses got their own mafia? Because sometimes I wonder if the horses don't have their own mafia.
I feel like it's their own mafia. I feel like there's a separate mafia that deals specifically with that. That's like a subset.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I'm thinking the horses are putting hits on each other, because I'm thinking like the horses are like, nah, you can't win. I'm gonna go put a hit on you. So I think the horses are putting hits on each other.
I want the quality carrots. I want the good oats.
That's right. I want those good oats.
Good oats that you get from winning.
I want the good oats, and I want the right to the first filly. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it. That's the other one, rights to the first filly. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. If you can survive, if you can not break a leg or something, you go out to stud. It's a good nice retirement plan.
It is. Hey, there's some people that say that was the issue. There's some people that saying that that's what Trump was doing. I was watching a video earlier today about Gaddafi, and apparently he hired women as his guards before he got assassinated and everything, and then he would take advantage of them. So apparently, if you are a leader, that is one of your advantages, whether you're Trump or Gaddafi.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's interesting. Well, it didn't work out for him well in the long run. If he got assassinated, I don't think, maybe they were that like, you got to, go ahead, just kill him. I'm just so sick of this guy. Or it might have been their boyfriend. He's like, hey, could you just duck out from it? Yeah, right. Yeah. Russia uses poison tea, and the Afghanis, I guess, use angry boyfriends to take out
angry boyfriends. You got to watch out for those camels. So the camels might have been assassinating them as well.
You never know.
Hey,
who knows? They put fentanyl on the candle.
I hear camels can carry a mean AK-47. They got that hump and everything else, so they can definitely hide it. So I'm thinking that the AK-47 could be hidden on the camel.
You put a fake hump on the camel and then the AK-47 underneath, and you're just like, nothing to see here.
Exactly. Well, we'll bounce off, let you get back to the news, but I just had to give you a hard time.
Oh no, I appreciate it. So getting back to the electricity grid with the, it's nonsense. It's going to be so burdensome, so expensive. You won't have any money left for betting on horse races, which, I used to bet on highlight. I liked highlight a lot when I was younger. That I think was probably fixed too. But it was very entertaining. I mean, I feel like if you're entertained, maybe you win, maybe you don't. But if you're gonna lose money, at least it's nice to be entertained while it happens, and there's other things to do. Okay, so oh wow, they just switched news on Fox here. Breaking news, it's the border again. I mean, even the liberal media is covering the border, the idiocy, the crisis, but they're not laying blame. Like, they love to lay blame on Republicans all the time. But there's no blame being laid. It's just their reports are very dry. Like, this is expiring, and we're going to have a lot of immigrants coming in. Have a nice day. There's no, by the way, this is because Biden is an atrocious leader and just completely asleep at the switch. And he's not asleep at the switch. But Biden's failed border policy is not a failed border policy, because his border policy was to let the border fail. I mean, so it's been successful wildly for him. He's got a lot of new voters coming across. That's the next stage. First stage, let everybody in. Second stage, figure out a way to quickly make them legal residents so they can vote for you in the next election. And country, infrastructures, your lives be damned. It's all about them as a party maintaining power. And it's disgusting. Child dies, and here you go. Child dies in U.S. custody while migrants rush border in chaotic scene. Yeah, I mean, it's horrible. Ugh. And it's completely unnecessary. It is completely unnecessary. Another piece. Party crashers. It's back to the climate. It's a climate day. Climate activist chase Democrat senator offstage at her own book event. And this is the kind of the fun part of the left. They eat their own. They're so whacked out and so nutty, especially when you get to the fringes, that they will easily go after their own because they demand to be outraged. They look to be outraged. They live to be outraged. So they'll find anything to be outraged about. They would prefer it be a Republican, but because their cities are run by Democrats, which is why they're so awful, that's what's available. So once in a while, they got to, and it's going to increase in frequency with time because they just become the need needs to be fulfilled for them to be outraged more and more. So they have to find more and more stuff to be outraged about. And they have to go after their local politicians. So they're mad about something. I don't know. They're mad that she's not far enough left on the climate, apparently. Okay, here we're talking about Putin. On Fox News, it says monster and murderer. That's accurate. Woman learns her fate after leaving nasty note on the grave of Putin's parents. All right, well, that's kind of like that's kind of a suicide right there, isn't it? Really? I mean, isn't that what that is? I would say you're kind of at the point where you're like, I don't care anymore. If you kill me, you kill me. When you start leaving nasty notes and signing your name on parents' graves. Jeez. Of Putin's parents. Yeah, that ain't going to end well. That ain't going to end well. All right, let me check out the New York Post. They're always giving me good stuff. Oh wait, I do comedy, so I'd like to read this. I got sidetracked here. It says group heckles comedian. All right, and storms out of show an explicit tirade after Mulvaney crack. So a comedian dared, and you're a comedian. You're going to say stuff that's not going to appeal to everybody. Otherwise, you're a crappy comedian. You're just a crap comedian. You're some generic dud. So I guess she must have said something, where she made a joke about the whole Dylan Mulvaney thing. I mean, it's a bit of train wreck for the company, just stating the obvious, I'm sure, joke like that. And the people get upset and run up. And you know what? I bet they didn't order that night Bud Light. I bet there wasn't a Bud Light on their table. I was so angry. You can't make fun of Dylan Mulvaney. But yeah, they all had like mixed drinks. There wasn't a Bud Light on that table. I wish they if they could do a close up somehow of this and just see what they were actually drinking. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, she's doing a comedy set in Dallas where her jokes poked fun at transgender dogma. Yeah, it is dogma, isn't it? You're not allowed to do that. You can't make fun. You're not allowed to be lighthearted or joke. And I don't think she's being aggressive. She just made a joke. So she's known for her irreverent humor. Good. That's usually a fun. Oh, I played at Hyenas Comedy Club. I like Hyenas. It's actually a great club. It's intact. They have a couple locations. I think the last one I did was in Plano. But so they upset. Why? She said her joke is, why has it been a year of girlhood? All right, I don't know. This is getting all confusing. But regardless, you should be allowed, especially if you're a comedian, you should be allowed to tell jokes. Generally, we should be allowed to have jokes and have everyone not get offended. But as I was saying before, liberals demand to be offended. Their whole lives, they're miserable people. They're just looking around for something to be offended by. You could just go and look for something to not be offended by just as easily. Why not do that? But no, it's been bred into them, and this is their life. It's a sad life to actively, constantly be seeking out something to be offended by. And having said that, and the reason I think I geared towards this story is I'm doing stand-up tonight, and I'm going to be doing a lot of inappropriate material as far as the left is concerned. So I'm going to see how I'll let you know. I'll give you the update on that next week. Let you know how that goes, because I'm coming in guns blazing. And I'm going to be whatever this girl was saying is going to, I feel like, pale in comparison to what I'm bringing to the table tonight. So I'll let you know how that goes. And if you would like a comedian to just try and make you laugh and not care so much about whether it's politically correct, I'm your guy. I'm your man. But it should be fun. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to the OC, so I feel like I have a fighting chance. If I tried it in LA, I would be thrown off the stage. I would be banned from the club, So, but if you go to OC, it's like the Berlin Wall. There's freedom on the other side. And I remember that specifically when we had all the mask mandates here in LA County, and you couldn't go anywhere without a mask. You had to have a mask practically to drive in your car. Although liberals volunteered to do that too. And I went to the OC. I was going to Legoland, taking my son to Legoland, and we cross over this, the line, and we get into OC, and we went into like a PF Chang's, something like that. No one's wearing masks. There's not one person in there wearing a mask. I'm like, what is this? The promised land? Where? Meanwhile, if you go back like 20 minutes, you can't get into a restaurant without a mask. And their COVID rates, I believe, so they went up and down between the two, but they were virtually identical the whole time. I always say, if you want to go back in a time machine, go to a Whole Foods because, so many people still wearing masks in there. You'd swear you were still back in the middle of the pandemic. And, it's like you already have a Democrat bumper sticker for your car. You don't need one for your face. All right. So let's get that out of the way. All right. That being said, let's hit the post here. A living Kel. People are crapping on Kelly Clarkson. Her show is traumatizing. All right. Workplace run by a monster. Someone's really mad about Kelly Clarkson. And I don't think someone on the post particularly likes her because they're running a front page story on it. I'm pretty sure this is just hearsay. It could be true. But usually it's better. Like I like my stories when it says multiple staffers, like Ellen, multiple staffers. Okay, there's probably some truth there. Staffer trauma. Let's get a couple more in the mix before I make my decisions. Oh, wait, it says staffers. I read staffers. There's smoke, there's fire. All right, now I'm starting to wonder. Staffers in the plural. And here's a nice thing about the post. No tongue twisters on this one. Although Kelly Clark's, that's kind of a tongue twister on its own. I can't even talk anymore. God. Everything I read about the left. Oh, God. Migrant czar Kamala Harris to hobnob at spring soiree as chaos erupts at southern border. So here she is, our illustrious. She's such a joke. She's the only person less popular than Biden right now. That's an accomplishment. Not a good one, but yeah. So she's out. Let's have this, whatever. I never paid attention to the border before. It's not like I'm going to suddenly start now. Let's just do this. Oh, by the way, if you need some AI help or your router fixed, don't come my way. She's our border czar. She is our border czar. I don't know. It's hard to get upset because it's all intentional. None of this is by accident. It's all by design. So, I mean, why am I going to get upset when their plan's working? But it's not like it's hard to have angst about it because it is the plan. It's not like, they're trying so hard to stop it. And they're not trying at all to stop it. They're trying to encourage it. They still are. Now it's gotten so out of control. They're like, is there any way to put the brakes on it? No, because you numbskulls would have to go against your own woke party, your own woke ideology to do it. And you'll never do that. You'd much rather the company wind up falling off a cliff than admit your party is responsible for it.
Speaking of party being responsible for everything, I went and dug up one because I didn't find that exact one and everything. But, apparently she spends a lot of time in your neck of the woods, even though she is originally a New Yorker comedian and all in that space. So definitely she was not a big fan of even the vaccines and all in that space. And apparently she had a slight routine, which she even talks about why she did not get vaccinated and all in that space. So if it's all right with you, I'm going to actually pull up it so everybody can see.
Sure. Yeah, why not? How dare she speak her mind, Mark? How dare she?
I know, how dare she speak her mind and actually make some good jokes and apparently had people laughing and all in that space.
Oh my, it couldn't have been an LA show.
I don't think, who knows where this was, because this is actually one that brings up a form of sexuality, but I was bold enough to mention it and everything because it's a good routine and all in that space. But let's play the thing.
Did not get vaccinated. Yeah. Didn't get it. I felt it was very annoying. I feel the same way about the vaccine as I do about anal. Like, the more you pressure me to do it, the more I'm going to pretend to be asleep.
Yeah, that's a solid bit there. And the crowd, that's definitely not an LA club.
Oh, not an LA club?
It could be OC, but yeah, not LA. Yeah, good for her, like for speaking her mind. It's just like, oh my God, you can't. That's what comedy's supposed to be. You have a comedian you maybe agree with, a comedian you don't agree with, but it's comedy, it's free speech. But the left does not like the free speech. They like to know ahead of time that you're just gonna do talking points.
Well, speaking of talking points, I got a question for you because there was a laugher of a game that was on yesterday and definitely helped the team go to the next round. We'll see if they play the Lakers or Golden State. Right now, it's looking like the Lakers, who can close out Golden State in LA today and everything. But I was watching the basketball game, and Djokovic and his team just kind of like had a laugher of a game because they won by like 40 against Phoenix and all in that space. So it wasn't even a good game. As a matter of fact, the announcers were saying that the other team should have probably gone home and, watched an old movie in the second half versus trying to play because they were already down by 30 at halftime. But my question for you is, he's got that nickname and he seems to love the nickname, but the Joker is not a good character in Batman and Robin. So he's a great basketball player, the Joker, but would you have an issue if that was your nickname? Because every time I turn around and they're like, the Joker, I'm going like, wait a minute, that was not a good character on Batman and Robin. So I'm not sure if I would want that nickname.
You just have to divorce yourself from the character. You have to be like, oh, just the Joker, like, he's a funny guy. But yeah, if you're going based off the Batman character, he's a dark, twisted, psychotic.
Exactly. But a lot of people can't pronounce his name. It's one of those Eastern European names, Djokovic.
Yeah.
So they just kind of go with the Joker, and he does have that thick accent. So even though he's doing the interviews, he's gotten a lot better because he's been playing the league now for a while. But definitely, I can see where the whole Joker.
I'm sure his PR team is probably like, is there some other way we could kind of sell this guy? Like something that where he didn't have to come off as a psychotic if he wanted to play it up, or wear weird face paint. So they're probably in the midst of kind of, if I don't know that he even has a branding team, but if he had a branding team, they're probably working on some more merch friendly, less niche market material, But yeah, hey, it's at least you got a nickname. Having a nickname is good, If you're important enough that you have a nickname, people, that's a good sign.
That is a good sign. And now, like I said, he'll probably be going up against one of the old veteran teams, whether it's the Lakers or the Golden State Warriors. But they said it more than likely it'll be Denver against one of these three teams, whether it's Miami, New York, or Boston or Philadelphia, because I think Miami can close out Boston today. But they'll be going up against one of those teams more than likely.
Yeah, I don't even start watching until the finals, and even then, sometimes I don't. I'm a big college hoops guy. Like I love the men and women because I'm a UConn alum, and they're usually both in it. They were this year, and UConn won this year. But yeah, once I get out of college, I just don't care anymore. Usually, I did see a Bulls. I was in Chicago for my birthday. I saw a Bulls Lakers game. The Bulls are terrible, but that was the first time I ever saw LeBron play. They happen to be playing the Lakers. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I keep saying that maybe this will be the year that I'll do it because they actually made it to the finals, and actually, surprisingly, they won one several years back when we first got a franchise. We've now had it for a while, but people are oftentimes surprised that there is hockey in the Carolinas, and the Hurricanes are now in the finals of their conference. So, yeah, they've been there for a while, so we're going to see if I can't make it to a Hurricanes game. So I've not been to a hockey game, a professional hockey game.
Yeah, that's a great one. They're a good team. Like I am a Kings fan, and the Kings are already out, but I saw them in the midseason play the Hurricanes. I was like, oh my God, this team could. Back then, I was like, this is an amazing team. They could easily go all the way. I mean, that's a solid squad. Yeah, go check them out, man. This could be their year.
Could be their year. I hope so. I think they'll start the conference finals on this Wednesday. So yeah, coming up Wednesday, I might be there checking out one of their games Wednesday or Friday.
Yeah. See some good hockey. See some A-level hockey right there. But no,
see some A-level hockey. It's one of the few sports that you can get to see people get their teeth bashed in and not worry about it because it's part of the sport.
Part of the game. 2 minutes. See you in a couple minutes.
Yeah. But the amazing thing is sometimes, well, it's all sports, they get their teeth bashed in, and then next thing you know, they're back out on the field, and you're like, wait a minute, did you just have your teeth bashed out? But
yeah, that's a hockey thing, man. Like, yeah, that's the bravado, the machismo of hockey. It doesn't matter what happens to you. If your arm's hanging off, you're probably going to at least try and skate back out,
Yeah.
As opposed to like soccer players who's like, ah.
Get back out with half an arm. Hockey and rugby players, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. But if you're a soccer player, it's the opposite. You know, someone just flips you on the ear or something. You see these people, they fall down like they've been impaled.
I can't say that about soccer because soccer is a sport that seems to go on. It's like cricket; it goes on forever. Those games seem to last forever.
Yeah, I've tried. I tried on soccer. I can't. I have no interest in it. I'll watch a highlight, but I don't want to sit through a whole game to see a highlight, and there might not even be a highlight in the game. So, I'm in the minority. I know it's a very popular sport. So
it's a very popular sport, but I mean, it could be worse. I mean, I have never attended, even though we've got some of those here as well. I've never attended a cricket game, but when I've looked at them on TV, I'm going like, these are 3-day sporting events, sometimes 4-day sporting events. How do you play a game that goes into multiple days?
Yeah, I lived in England for 2 years, and I still never watched cricket. And it was always on TV. They had like 4 stations when I lived there, and there was one of them always had cricket on or darts. I'd watch darts. That was at least somewhat interesting, somewhat.
I mean, why are you going to watch a professional dart league? You can go to any local bar and see darts.
I was young. I mean, they'll let you drink early in England, but not that early. I was like 14, 15. Although I started getting into bars when I was 16 in England because it might have been 15. It had to be 15 because I was back in the States getting my license when I was 16. Yeah, they just didn't care.
So you went and saw the darts, but like I said, I can go to any bar anywhere and there'll be people throwing darts. Of course, you know, nowadays the dart board is just kind of sitting there collecting dust because half the time nobody's actually tossing the darts or doing anything with the darts.
They don't want to hand them out because they're afraid they're going to, attack each other with them.
Afraid to go throw the darts at each other. Hey, I don't know, but we've got a sport here in Durham. I keep saying that I'm going to go during the time that they're actually competing because it's also a bar, which I think is a bad combination. But we've got a place here, and I think that they're out there in the West too, that is those axe throwing bars. So I'm going to
that's getting popular. Huh? Yeah, I haven't done it, but that's getting popular. I do that just for a lark, try it once. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
a little axe throwing. Why not?
Yeah, but a little axe throwing, and you've also got the drinks. I'd be worried about that's the axe gonna get thrown the opposite way.
That's chaperone, though. I feel like I hope that's chaperoned, where there's like a guy handing you the axe, and then But yeah, that's the biggest thing I see is like when those things come popping back at you. You got to be at a good place.
Otherwise, you look like one of those cartoon characters. It'd be like, oops, yeah.
I gotta cut out, Mark. I gotta prep for this show tonight. I'm doing this.
I'm about to let you prep.
I'm doing this Bash Biden show tonight. Which I will definitely let you know how it goes next week when I get to see your trim beard. I'm excited. All right, so hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Again, thank you to Jeremy's Razors, my sponsor. You can go Jeff Ahern 15 for 15% off, and Mark, they have beard products as well, just so you know. And yeah, that's it. And then I'm from here on out, I gotta go drive to the OC, and I'm gonna go prep my act, have some fun tonight. And I don't think I'm gonna get thrown off stage because I feel like it's a home crowd, so it should be a lot of fun. And yeah, it'll be a good time. But I'll give you all the update on that later. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Mark, and have a great week. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna cut out. I'm gonna do this. I gotta get down to OC. That's the hardest part of this gig. I gotta drive to the OC. Ugh. It's going to take a while. It's a 2 hour.
You got to drive to OC. Well, you can take some Kendu Spice with you and all of that. So I think I'll go with the Kendu Spice, which is one of our people that's here, and they have their own product of natural spices that they named after their dad and everything. So you can go grab some Kendu Spices when you're driving down to OC and all in that space. It's a long drive, so maybe you need some Kendu Spices and some good food to go with you.
I might. All right, Kendu. I never heard of it, and now I will be actively looking for it, and I'll let you know how that goes.
All right.
Mark, have a great week, buddy. All right, bye.
You know how people love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements, but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Kendu Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Can Do Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Can Do Spice. Everyone should be having this. It's an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Can Do Spice a try.
Hello and welcome to Newsday with Jeff Ahern. I'm your host, Jeff Ahern. Today's top story, Generation Z, a generation made so fragile they make eggshells look like forged steel, now want to cancel your keyboards, or at least the emojis on them. At this point, they should just make a list of the things that don't offend them. It would be a lot shorter. Generation Z includes people born between the mid to late 1990s and early 2010s, a generation that has grown up with technology, but clearly not with testicles. Remember when real men stormed the beaches of Normandy? In the same situation today, Gen Zers would just have started learning German. I'm amazed any of you can walk on two legs without the support of a spine. And if I'm a little angry at Gen Zers, it's because one of the emojis on their hit list is my all-time favorite, the thumbs up. What has an opposable thumb ever done to you outside of giving you the ability to use tools? They call it rude and hostile, even saying they feel attacked whenever they see it in the woke place. You heard me. One Gen Zer said, if I took the time to write a thoughtful message, then you shouldn't be responding with the bare minimum. Ooh, sounds like someone wants a medal for writing an email. And why not? They've gotten medals for everything else growing up. What's that saying? Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men have a list of emojis that make them cry. On Reddit, some were less offended by the thumbs up emoji, but felt the heart symbol was actually the most inappropriate. One said, to me, the heart is reserved for friends and family. Well, guess what? I just got a reminder email to get my hours in to get paid. So Frank in accounting is getting one. Deal with it. They also don't like the brown swirl emoji. Sounds like someone didn't get enough kisses from Mr. Hanky. I don't know, Gen Z. For a group that hates keyboards so much, you sure are a bunch of strokes.
Skipping through the end times.
Now, Timmy, what did we say about electronics at the table? This is family time.
You're right, Dad.
How was school today, sweetie?
Fine. Lots of arithmetic. But my favorite subject was recess.
Oh, what a rascal. This meal looks exquisite, Susan.
Thank you, honey.
Timmy, would you bless the food?
Sure, Dad. Thank you, Lord Mephisto, your blessing is forever. We give you our souls and you fill it with darkness. I love you so. I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
Timmy, show some respect.
You know that in this household we worship the 13 pagan gods of the nether realms.
But none of my other friends have to slit their wrists in blood sacrifice. I just want to be normal for once. Why can't we be Hindu or Scientologist?
Hindu? Well, I never.
Oh, thank Krampus your grandmother isn't around to hear this.
Let's face it, we're a cult.
Timmy, we do not use the C word, especially in front of your precious mother.
Honey, you know we're open-minded. We invite you to leave the pagan church and see what other beliefs are out there. Just keep in mind that if your faith ever wavers, wrath and famine will devour all those you hold dear.
That's right. Your mother and I will be flaming corpses.
But what matters is what you want, honey.
Well, I guess I'll stay pagan for now.
There's our little boy.
I think you mean big boy.
You're funny.
Now how about some grub, huh?
Wait, aren't we forgetting something?
Oh, the ritual of Pazuzu.
That's right. Can you pass the blood, honey?
Of course, dear.
Don't forget me, Mom.
Be right back, gang. And how would you like to do the honors this time, champ?
You really mean it, Dad? No fooling?
You've earned it, son.
Make it a clean cut now.
Misa Nuja, Misa Nuja, Misa Nuja, Misa Nuja, Misa Nuja.
No! Misa Nuja. You don't have to do this! Wait, Jim? I thought that was you.
Karen? How the hell are you?
Skipping through the end times.
Well, maybe Tesla should have tried a bit harder.
Well, it's hard to go against the corporate power of Westinghouse. Hey, look, a hitcher. You don't see that much anymore.
Pick him up.
What? Have you seen any movie ever? He looks pretty shiny.
Dude, it's the Mandalorian.
Oh, God.
Hey,
Hello.
where you headed?
North. Up Petaluma way.
Oh, well, hop in.
I appreciate you stopping.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, how could we deny such a prestigious bounty hunter?
This is the way.
Oh, Dave, it's a lift up here. So what are you doing up in Petaluma?
Meeting some friends at a brewery.
Oh, sweet. Care if we tag along? I'm just kidding. We'd never invite ourselves. But, seriously, if you did, we know some pretty good spots.
Hey, I have a question.
Dude, don't mess this up.
Yeah.
In Season 1, Episode 6, when you had Baby Yoda...
Grogu.
Yeah, sure, Grogu. Why did you have him crawl into the Razor Crest hole to fix a complex electrical issue? Being his father figure, don't you feel just a little bit negligent risking his life like that?
Well, we were stuck and it needed fixing.
Lucky those X-Wing pilots happened to show up, huh? Anyway...
Right. Which brings me to a much larger issue.
Dave, please. So, what was it like meeting Luke, huh?
Honestly, your complete incompetence when it comes to being a bounty hunter.
Oh, God.
Like, you have zero business sense. And let's be real, you're pretty terrible at fighting. You're essentially just moving from one blunder to the next, each time miraculously being saved by some force of sheer luck. And morally, you're kind of meh. So, all in all, kind of borderline unlikable, dude.
Okay, well...
Oh, don't mind him, Mr. Mando. He's just still bitter about the whole Last Jedi thing. And the Rise of Skywalker thing, and and then the entirety of the prequel trilogy thing, and then, Palpatine.
Alright, I get the idea.
But we're so lucky to have you around now. I mean, things are on the up and up. Huh? Ahsoka Tano, Dave, huh? Thrawn, dude.
You're right, dude. I'm sorry to be so harsh on you, Mando.
I'm just gonna get out here.
What? Why?
Yeah, why?
I'm just gonna jetpack the rest of the way. Freaking nerds.
Wow.
So cool. Oh my God.
Well.
Oh, look! It's another hitcher. Here's our chance to make up for it.
Huh, you're right. Hey, is that...
I am Boba Fett.
Hey, OG Trilogy, now we're talking.
Hey, so why do you take your stupid helmet off so much?
Dude. Oh, God, we're totally getting sued.